Team Builder. PPL D2. Season 2. Week 5. Last week didn't go so well. But we're not going to let that keep us down. Everything I didn't like about my team is gone and we've picked up 2 new things that will be really fun to use. It's time to win some games. This week's opponent are the Tampa Bay Luxrays, managed by Monotooi. Shoutouts to this program's pronunciation of that. First things first, let's take a look at the league table. As you can see, we are still in 5th, despite our loss last week. We are also still above Roy, but this is the first week where he could catch up to us, so we need to play this really well. But as you can also see, our opponent is sitting at the number 1 spot, having an undefeated streak of 4-0. This will be tough, but I feel like it's possible, now that I have a team I like using. And on the GPA, things are looking mighty scary, as the Luxrays are also leading this one. Megalopony is 9-0. That thing is massively terrifying. And you can already see, Scissor is no longer in the top 10. But AJ Styles is of course still going strong and wants to increase his kills this week. Like I said, and like you hopefully already know, because you watched my transfer update, our team has changed for the first time this season. We now have Alakazam, Scissor, Hitmontop, Thunderous, Feraligatr, Celebi, Darmanitan, Liepard, Mr. Meme, and Bunnelby. Mono's draft consists of Zapdos, Megalopony, Nidoqueen, Reuniclus, Tyranitar, Whimsicott, Jellicent, Kabutops, Ferrothorn, and Flareon, none of which can be pronounced properly by this. It's gonna be one of those weeks, isn't it? Now, if you look at Mono's squad, you're going to think several things. The first of those things will probably be wait, didn't we face Lopunny, Reuniclus, Tyranitar and Kabutops on one team last season? Yeah, we did. Necrostevo drafted those 4 in Season 2 of Division 1. Coincidence? I think not. Open parenthesis, I really did this program's delivery of that, close parenthesis. The next thing you'll think is, that doesn't look all that scary, how is this guy undefeated? Well, you're thinking wrong. While a lot of those things look defensive at first, they can also hit really hard. Zapdos, for example, is fast and hits hard, but is typically looked at as a defensive thing. Nidoqueen hits stupidly hard and has good coverage. Reuniclus can destroy people, if they're not careful. And then there's Lopunny. Oh god, that thing is scary. Another thing you might notice is the great defensive synergy of that draft. There is only one type, where he doesn't have more resistances than weaknesses. Additionally, his team has immunities to literally every type you can be immune to, except grass. Combining all that with the fact that he's good at Pokemon makes this match quite scary. But we have a plan. And that plan is called B.HT/Gator. Look at this wonderful set. Adamant Sheer Force Life Orb. Enough speed to outspeed everything at +1. Now, look at the moves. Waterfall. Crunch. Ice Punch. Find the switch in. Hint, it's Ferrothorn. Aside from Ferro, there is nothing that can take this thing on at +1. So naturally, I combined Gator with the best ways of dealing with Ferrothorn, fire and fighting moves. And what better Monday to carry a fire move than Snow Joe? This thing has enough speed to outspeed everything up to Kabutops, as well as defensive Zapdos. We've got an expert belt, because this thing has really good coverage against everything. Flare Blitz is our general stab, which really hurts Ferrothorn. Zen Headbutt is there for Nidoqueen. Superpower is there for Tyranitar but can also be used against Ferrothorn. In case I don't see an item I can expect it to be Oak Berry and bop it with a fighting move instead. U-Turn is there for momentum but also does pretty impressive damage to Reuniclus. Next up is another one of our new pickups. Grace, the Alakazam. The EV Spread is there to outspeed Scarf T-Tar. I doubt he'll bring that this week but investing in bulk with Alakazam is sort of useless anyway so I figured I might as well. We are running Magic Guard Sash, which means we can revenge kill pretty much everything. Psychic deals with Lopunny and Nidoqueen. Shadow Ball hits Reuniclus and Jellicent for good damage. HP Fire is there exclusively for Ferrothorn. Focus Blast isn't something I expect to use this battle. I looked through the coverage options I had but especially after already having a hidden power, there wasn't much else to run. I really hope I won't have to use it, but it's there in case Tyranitar comes in and wants to pursuit trap me. As long as my focus sash is intact, I can theoretically kill it, even if it has a Chople Berry. That is of course assuming I hit 2 focus blasts. Yeah, like I said, I hope I won't need to use it. Next up, AJ Styles, the Thunderous. We are running a pretty bulky variant this week, as there isn't anything very fast we could outspeed. The closest thing base speed wise is Zapdos, which I don't expect to see being fast this week. Either it will be defensive and we'll outspeed it with this spread, or it will be scarfed and Thunderous won't outspeed either way. Speed is therefore the next fastest thing, Kabutops. Max special attack modest with a life orb to hit super hard. The remaining EVs are invested in bulk. Enough in HP to have a life orb number and the other 24 distributed to defense and special defense. Moves are pretty obvious. Volt Switch gains momentum and hurts most things a lot. Psychic hurts Nidoqueen and Lopunny. The latter actually can't take this thing out, surprisingly. Grass Knot does massive damage to T-Tar and Kabutops. Incinerate, again, a fire move, just for Feral. Our fifth mon this week, the Doctor of Prankonomics, Liepard. This is a very offensive set, mostly here to deal with Reuniclus and Jellicent. But it can also do other things, such as copycat Lopunny's high jump kick or Nidoqueen's Earth Power. And there's U-turn, because I like momentum. Lastly, we have a supportish Celebi. Giga Drain for T-Tar and Kabutops, Psychic for Lopunny and Nidoqueen. Enough speed to outspeed defensive Zapdos and Jolly Kabutops. Healing Wish, in case Whimsicott paralyzes Gator, or to heal pretty much anything else. Stealth Rocks, because competitive. BEV spread is pretty specific and allows us to take 2 Ice Punches from Lopunny and 2 Heat Waves from defensive Zapdos. This thing is sort of just support / suicide lead / panic switch in for Lopunny. So that's what we are bringing. What will Mono bring? I'm definitely expecting Ferrothorn, as his only stop to Gator. We'll probably see Zapdos, because it's his only good hazard removal. Lopunny will also probably be there, because it's always good. Jellicent is pretty likely to come as well, being his only reliable Darm switch in. Then we'll probably see either Reuniclus, Nidoqueen or Tyranitar. All 3 can do work against me in some way, so there's really no telling which will come. The 6th team slot is basically a wild card for me. There's a decent chance he'll bring Kabutops, despite the fact that it has a pretty poor matchup this week, because I talked some shit about it in the PPL Spike group. If he does, it'll likely either be a Rain Sweeper or some kind of weak armor ender thing. Neither of those are really scary, though, so whatever. He could of course also bring a Trick Room team, which I don't really have anything for. I looked into prepping for Trick Room, but my best answers to it are Bunnelby and Scissor, neither of which can do much in return. Either that or I could have put Trick Room on Celebi, but that would have just been a massively wasted move slot, if he doesn't bring Trick Room. So yeah, Mono is a scary opponent, his draft is very good and I have limited switch-ins for most things. But somehow, I feel pretty good about this match. See ya there.